Hey, Jules Plus Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. So, yesterday I was mourning the loss of such a fantastic dancer and just person, humanitarian on many levels, which was Twitch from So You Think You Can Dance, Twitch from Dancing with the Stars, Twitch from DJ on Ellen. Like, just such an incredibly great, generous, good hearted individual. And I didn't know his backstory of depression, and I imagine more will come out. But I followed his love affair with Allison, who also was from Dancing with the Stars, and you know how they had just fallen so head over heels in 2013, and then went on to have a couple of more children together. I think she had a child from a different relationship, but whatever the situation was, just an amazing couple, just so amazing. And, you know, to just all of a sudden hear that he's dead at age 40 from suicide, shot himself in the head, you know, in a Los Angeles hotel room, and maybe out of grace to not do it at home and wanting to spare the family the visual and the memories of that. I don't know. A day after their ninth anniversary. And again, maybe in his depression, he was able to hold on one more day for that anniversary, but he couldn't hold on another day, you know? And people right away are saying, oh my gosh, that was so selfish. And, you know, he didn't even think about his kids and la la la. I assure you, he thought about all of that. He thought about all of that. And he just couldn't hold on one more second. I come from depression. I come from bipolar. I come from chronic depression. I was medicated for 20 years until my kidneys gave out. I use my vegan diet now and great support from people who love me. But, you know, people, there's no doubt that it is a permanent solution to what was probably a temporary problem. But he was already 40. And I don't know if he'd been struggling since he was 10 years old. You know, I have no idea. I know I have always had depression, even as a child, that it was kind of seasonal, you know, depending on what was going on, that I would self medicate, you know, started drinking on the weekends at 10, was a pill gourmet in my 20s, have used food since birth, like honestly, and certainly since I was acutely aware at 3 years old, you know, stealing cookies out of a cookie jar, 4 years old, stealing from the store, binging all my life, all my life. And I have those memories, you know, I don't regret any of it because it allowed me to get through many things in my life, you know. But I am sorry for it, and God is merciful, and He knows our heart. And I do not recommend suicide to anyone. I do not recommend suicide. But I know that God's merciful, and I know that most people just want whatever it is that's so overwhelming to end. And sometimes, you know, in my adult life, I was suicidal for like 10 years. I had suicidal ideations every day for 10 years, planning my death. I basically just had to stay away from ropes, sharp objects, guns, pills. Like, honestly, I had to just stay away from what could actually kill me. But the desire and everything, you know, it's kind of funny, not like funny, interesting, that biblically they absolutely recognize, especially in the Old Testament, but absolutely when Jesus came, the New Testament, that there are demons. That the devil, I mean, according to St. Michael the Archangel, right? The devil prowls about the earth with his minions, seeking the ruin of souls. Okay? Jesus constantly told demons to get out of that person. Whether it was a woman who was bleeding for years, and who knows if that's fibroids and menstrual problems. I have no idea what it was. Whether he, you know, asked another person on behalf of whatever the ailment was. I don't know why we think that those things don't exist anymore. that it's all on us now and we're just supposed to fix it, that pills are supposed to do it. Go to faith first. Go to a healer. Go to a priest and have, the problem exorcised out of you. Like, seriously, exor, as an exorcist. Like, honestly, I'm just so sorry that we don't recognize the spiritual warfare going on at all times. And all of those desperately fighting on our behalf. And if you're not saying the Archangel Michael's prayer, you might want to. And if you're not asking your own personal guardian angel to participate in your, in your life daily, angel of God, my guardian dear, to whom God's love commits me here, ever this day be at my side, to light, to guard, to rule, to guide. Amen. I ask that every day. We need it, people. It's a scary time. Is it more scary than other times in history? I don't know. But it's scary enough. But that said, I really did know, like with my asthma, that I was causing much of this distress by the foods that I was eating. And using food, sugars for up, and, whatever else for downs, I really abused my body trying to deal with those mood swings of depression. And I know that eating fresh fruit and vegetables has been my answer, and that I have been largely free. Yes, of course, I get moments, but it's not chronic, So this is an interesting article, which of course I'll include in the description of the video, called Veganism and Depression, Is There a Relationship? And this is from healthline.com, and that's one that I reference a lot because I like the way they tend to have summaries and a bottom line, and I'm a bottom line kind of girl. But it's not all happy, It's not just saying, oh yeah, eat plant-based, you're good. It says that there's some problems, and veganism can cause depression for some people. So, as always, this just interested me. I always hope it'll interest you. And take it, with a grain of salt, whatever works for you. And if you're off salt, take it in stride. Because speed walking is good. Okay. Major depressive disorders are the second largest worldwide contributor to the number of years a person lives in suboptimal health. Let's read that again. Major depressive disorders are the second largest worldwide contributor to the number of years a person lives in suboptimal health. And that is a hyperlink. One moment, please. Yeah, there's a bunch. This is a scientific article. It's been peer-reviewed, and there's a lot of little hyperlinks for each fact, which you're welcome to explore. Many factors can influence why some people may experience depression, including what they eat. Anecdotally, some people report improved mood and less anxiety when eating a vegan diet. However, others report worsened symptoms. And this article will review the latest studies that have to say about veganism and depression, including if there's a link between the two. How your diet might affect your mood. What you eat can influence how you feel both physically and mentally. When it comes to your mood, more than 50 studies conducted in various countries suggest that what a person eats may influence how likely they are to experience depression. For instance, a large randomized controlled trial, the gold standard in nutrition research, and that's a hyperlink, looked at diets of people with major depressive symptoms. It found that people with depression who followed a prescribed diet high in whole grains, lean protein, low-fat dairy, and plant foods were 4 times more likely to experience remission, as in pulling back, ending, no longer engaging in, than those who consumed a diet lower in those foods and higher in ultra-processed foods. And, for lean protein, of course, I would have to say plant-based proteins, i.e. avocado, flax, chia, right? The drop in depressive symptoms was independent of changes in physical activity or body weight, and those who improved their diet the most reported the greatest reduction in depressive symptoms. In another study, a Mediterranean-style diet, again a hyperlink, coupled with fish oil supplements, and again, I don't believe fish oil is necessary at all. There's other really good ones. Significantly improves self-reported symptoms of depression over 3 months. A recent review further supports the notion that eating a high-quality diet, regardless of whether it's plant-based, may reduce the risk of depression by up to 23%. Anyone would welcome that. In these studies, the high-quality diet was typically defined as one rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and then it says fish and seafood. Again, not my story. And for those who are going to say, oh, but I'm just a pescatarian, I stopped red meat, I stopped chicken, I'll caution you on the amount of poisons in that fish at this point. It's not Jesus's fish. Okay? Like, seriously. Oh my gosh. I'm always tired when I do these videos. I'm so happy to do them, but yeah, we're in the thick of it because of Christmas and all the things going on at school. But I was thinking mercury. Oh, the amount of mercury in fish. Watch Seaspiracy if you haven't. It's a tough one, but it's important. Okay, keep in mind that these study results don't mean that a diet low in those foods causes depression, though. Of course not. Depression is caused or influenced by many various factors. Again, it's a hyperlink, with diet being only one of them. But like I said, what I found with my asthma was that all the processed foods was causing asthma from the inside out. And I was only blaming environmental factors. It was my food. That said, a well-rounded, nutritious diet does appear to help at least some people experience fewer symptoms of depression. So altering your diet may be a helpful strategy worth considering. And then in between here, there's a really big post on all the different resources for people who are suicidal. National Suicide Prevention Hotline, Crisis Center, Trans Lifeline, like all the things. When to consult a psychologist, like all of that. It says a well-rounded, nutritious diet, high in whole grains, fruit and vegetables, nuts and seeds, which is the typical plant-based diet. And assuming that you keep it raw, it's the typical raw vegan diet. Because you minimize your nuts and seeds and you go for broke on your fruit and vegetables. And lean proteins, again, it has to be plant-based for me, may help reduce your symptoms of depression or lower the likelihood that you'll experience this mental illness. Let me see. Okay, so can a vegan diet help reduce symptoms of depression? So that first part was all good news. Here's the second part, and this is not controversial, but it's something worth considering. A vegan diet, hyperlink, tends to be naturally richer in fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, and whole grains. Amen. Foods that are all predominant in the high-quality diets that studies link to a lower risk of depression. A higher intake of fruit and vegetables has also been independently linked to a lower risk of depression and overall better mental well-being. Yay, God. Vegan diets tend to be rich in antioxidants and other beneficial nutrients shown to be protective against depression and depressive symptoms. When it comes to research, a handful of studies suggest that people who follow a vegan diet may experience a lower risk of depression. Yet other studies report either no difference or a higher risk of depression in vegans than people who eat meat, eggs, and fish. And there's hyperlinks for that. I would follow the money trail on that statement because inevitably those are people being backed by the dairy and meat industry, and that is just straight up. And groups that are vegan and plant-based, they don't have those monies that those large corporations have to show the importance of their study. Watch people, follow people living the better way, and trust their testimonial. Yet other studies, okay. Currently, a vegan diet is not typically recommended as a way to treat depression. If you'd like to give it a try nonetheless, heaven forbid you'd err on the side of better health, I encourage you to seek guidance from a registered dietitian to make sure that your diet fulfills all of your nutrient requirements. That's because a poorly planned vegan diet might not provide you with enough of the nutrients essential for optimum brain health, such as vitamin B12, many people take vitamin B12. Of course, vegans in time, because it's derived largely from animals, may find a need for that. And I take, of course, a vegan vitamin B12. But to be fair, even meat eaters are depleted in vitamin B12 because the soil is depleted. So the animals who are consuming the grass and the humans who are consuming the animals are all having a B12 deficiency. Like, don't put that just on vegans. It's no longer true. And long chain omega-3 fatty acids. That means making sure your diet is well planned is a must, of course. If you're worried that working with an RD, registered dietitian, is outside of your budget, remember that many RDs accept health insurance and Medicare or can adjust fees based on a sliding scale, blah, blah, blah. A vegan diet seems to improve, this is a summary, symptoms of depression for some people but worsens them for others. If you're considering giving a vegan diet a try, make sure it's well planned so that you don't experience any nutrient deficits. Okay, I think this is the last... No, this goes on forever. Hold on. It's kind of tricky. Sometimes it ends the article and sometimes it just keeps going. So hold on. I'm going to skip to this part, but again, I include this in the description of the video. How to reduce depression on a vegan diet. Experts suggest that choline, and that's a hyperlink, vitamin B6 and B12 and folate, as well as certain amino acids, are essential for your body to produce sufficient amounts of neurotransmitters needed to regulate your mood. Long-chain omega-3s also appear to help regulate dopamine and serotonin levels, which is why they are believed to help decrease symptoms of both depression and anxiety. A vegan diet tends to be lower in some of these nutrients, particularly vitamin B12 and long-chain omega-3s. I'm going to click on that choline a second. I hope I don't lose our article. I'm just curious. Choline is a nutrient needed for many bodily processes, including metabolism. Darn it, I just got hijacked. Bear with me. Metabolism, neurotransmitter synthesis, brain development, and more. While your body naturally makes small amounts of this nutrient, it's not enough to fulfill your needs, so you need to get some from your diet. Okay, super interesting, but let's get an idea of what those are. Ugh. Number 1, whole eggs. Again, you have to look at where the money trail is. I mean, I get it. Some people have their own chickens, praise God. They have a, relationship with their chickens, and the chickens happily forfeit their eggs. The problem is there's zero cholesterol in a plant-based diet. Eggs have cholesterol, which of course can heavily affect the body. It literally says, this recommends 2 eggs per day. Some people say 2 eggs a week is too many. I'm not going to worry about it. Let me keep going. Another one is organ meat. Okay. Oh my goodness. I don't know how much further I'm going to look. Caviar. Oh my Lord. Are you kidding me? Fish. Okay, finally. Number 5. Finally. Shiitake mushrooms. Wow. All the way to number 5. Let's keep going. Soybeans. Wheat germ. Number 9. Chicken and turkey. Number 10. Cruciferous vegetables. 11. Almonds. 12. Lima beans. 13. Red potatoes. 14 kidney beans, and 15 quinoa. Okay. Okay, interesting, but let's move on. I pray I'll get back. Okay, yeah. Okay, so it says, long chain omega-3s also appear to help regulate dopamine, serotonin. A vegan diet tends to be lower. Therefore, vegans should take special attention to ensure sufficient intake of these nutrients either through fortified foods or supplements. Foods typically fortified in vitamin B12 include plant milks, breakfast cereals, nutritional yeast, and certain mock meats. I can't really recommend mock meats. I mean, in desperation, if you're afraid you're going to go back to dead animals, sure. Have a, fake hamburger or whatever. But otherwise, You just need to know that that's just not your food anymore. Vegan foods that are naturally rich in long-chain omega-3s are limited to algae, which you should have every day. That's what healed my thyroid. Go up into my little search for Jules Best Vegan and put thyroid. It healed my thyroid. I'm completely off medication. Also, algae oil. However, you may help your body produce slightly more of these long-chain omega-3s by eating foods rich in alpha-linolenic acid, such as chia seeds, and it's a hyperlink. And yes, flax seeds. What's up, y'all? Just make sure that you don't grind them for use until you use them, because they can go rancid. Walnuts, so powerful. And hemp seeds, absolutely. That said, your body's ability to convert ALA, which is that alpha-linolenic acid, to long-chain omega-3s appears to be limited. Therefore, an algae oil supplement may be also beneficial. It's also worth remembering that high-quality diets, regardless of the type, were the ones linked to the lower risk of depression. Not all vegan diets are equally high in quality. To maximize your benefits, try favoring whole or minimally processed plant foods over ultra-processed ones, such as meat and cheese substitutes, sweets, and prepackaged vegan meals or snacks. That's straight up. And always keep in mind that your diet isn't the only factor playing a role in depression. Therefore, it's important to explain all treatment avenues available to you together with a qualified mental health professional. I in no way recommend that you just drop your depression medication or anything else. Because my kidneys were going to hell and I had to decide, do you want to be dead but not depressed? Or do you want to risk depression and live? It basically came down to that. And I was like, I will risk depression, much to many people's dismay around me, and live. And I didn't just live, I thrived. But it was against my doctor's orders, and it took a while. You can go up to my bipolar story as well. Okay, summary. To reduce your risk of depression on a vegan diet, it's worth making sure your diet is made up mostly of whole and minimally processed plant foods. It should also include fortified foods or supplements. Again, you can get everything from God's food, but if you know that every other day you're floundering and you're accidentally falling back to the standard American diet, then by all means, add those supplements. And here we are at the bottom line. The relationship between veganism and depression is currently unclear. A vegan diet sometimes appears helpful at reducing symptoms of depression, but other times seems linked to higher risk of depression. If you're experiencing depression and are curious about giving a vegan diet a try, consider one that prioritizes minimally processed plant foods and provides sufficient amounts of all essential nutrients, including vitamin B12 and long-chain omega-3s. You may need to take supplements or choose fortified foods to make sure you consume enough of the nutrients that support brain health and mood regulation, as vegan diets can lack them. Reaching out to a registered dietitian to ensure that your vegan diet is well planned and meets all of your nutrient needs can be helpful. If you made changes to your diet and are still not feeling better, or if your symptoms are severe and affecting your day-to-day life, make sure to discuss other options, including medication, which is a hyperlink, with a qualified mental health care professional. What happened to me was that they put me on an antidepressant, and they tried a whole bunch. So it was just chronically up, down, la, 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 la. And then, after they finally got me on one, they put me on a mood stabilizer. And after the mood stabilizer, they put me, like, seriously, it was one thing on top of another, and I was just caught in this system, you know. And luckily, that is no longer my truth, and I thank God to no end. Anyway, yes, on 2 levels. Let me see, what is this one? Sorry, you guys. You know me, I'm a one and done, so I don't pre-look at these, but hopefully you're turning this off and taking a break and looking at it again anyway. So I am going to go ahead and go on this one because I'm going to move on from this. But it says 11 herbs and supplements. And again, this is just all one long article. Just keep going down to help reduce symptoms of depression. Food first, by all accounts. Depression is a mental health condition that affects more than 17 million adults in the United States alone. However, the actual number is much higher, considering that many people with depression don't seek treatment for various reasons, or can't, or aren't well enough to, let's be fair. Below are the 5 classifications of depressive disorders, which share features such as sadness, irritability, a feeling of emptiness, and changes in the body and brain that affect daily functioning. You know what? I think it's a worthy reflection, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it right now. I may come back to it. I noticed one of them was zinc. And zinc is just really good right now anyway for even strengthening your body against things like COVID. So, yeah, I'll get back to that. But anyway, again, peace be with everyone who loved Twitch, especially his precious family. God bless his soul. My vote is for Twitch, Father, if you're taking a vote. And reach out to 988, you guys, if you're hurting or someone in your life is. Quickest way to get help. All right. Like if you like, join us if you haven't. Subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you. And until we talk again, best of all, know that you're blessed.